For joining us here in the Midday Show, I'm Phil Sanchez. We start with the latest out of Carmel right now. Authorities looking for the vandals who spray painted a shed at a synagogue with anti-Semitic graffiti. News 8's Julia Dang has reaction.
Synagogue leaders tell us they are looking at it as an isolated act of hate, but this could turn into a larger investigation. Both Indiana State Police and the FBI have been notified, and they've offered to help. For now, though, this is being handled by local authorities here in Carmel. They haven't identified the vandal yet, and they haven't determined if any other synagogues might be threatened. Congregation Sha'arit Tefillah did capture the act on camera. It happened overnight on Saturday between 11 p.m. and 2 o'clock the following morning.
We found out about this through neighbors.
The images include a large red and black Nazi flag, crudely painted and covering nearly half the brick wall. The symbolism has been painful for members of the Jewish community, and people of every faith have condemned the graffiti as sickening and appalling. We talked to the congregation president, Corey Friedman. He was clearly emotional, talking about how synagogue members have been affected.
I met some of our congregants in the parking lot to just hug.
The graffiti hasn't been removed yet. It's being covered by tarps to protect evidence from washing away in the rain.
We are working against these kinds of things. We're disappointed that this occurred.
Tonight, the congregation will be holding a solidarity gathering. We will, of course, have live coverage of that on Wish TV.
We know that predominantly we are all good people, but there are a few bad eggs that we have to address and work with to turn their heart to a positive.
And although there hasn't been any word of a new threat, there have been patrol units stationed here throughout the morning. Officers tell me they're just providing additional protection until they make headway in the investigation. Back to you.
Unconscionable, Julia. Thank you very much. Several leaders releasing statements condemning the graffiti. Governor Eric Holcomb releasing this statement saying in part, quote, "The cowards responsible for these crimes always hide from public scrutiny precisely because they know their actions will be soundly rejected by their neighbors and are not consistent with who we are as a society." Vice President Mike Pence also tweeting about the vandalism, saying in part, "Sickened and appalled by the cowardly act of vandalism. Those responsible must be held accountable. These vile acts of anti-Semitism must end." In other news right now, a federal law